them. And if we can just keep encouraging people to look within and better themselves, then there will be more far better people in this world than there are now.
That was well put. That was definitely well put. So, in terms of folks, did you originally have someone who was leading you when it came to learning yoga back in the day before it became a business?
No, I started going to Bikram yoga, hot yoga.
Yeah, I twice.
Yeah, and I started going because I was like, hey, I want to try yoga. Let me see what this is like. And then, it's hot in there, so my body was banging. I was like, oh, I like yoga, but it was literally just, me flowing through the poses and the heat and the strength. I was like, oh, this is great. I can work out and I go to the gym, And then one day I was in class and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm holding this pose. I'm like, shit, I'm doing it. You know what I mean? And then I fell out of I had some scattered thoughts and I fell out of it and I was like, oh shit. And then the instructor goes, get back in. And I was like, okay. And so, and then, I'm like, right, like my mind is right back right. And I was like, and that's when I was like, So it's not entirely about how strong you are, how flexible you are. It's about the focus that you have. Your focus is the center. Everything else is just aligning outside of that. And that's what kind of made me dive into it. I was like, I would like to share this with people,
So were there like books and videos or anything else after that? Or was it really just exploring self?
It was exploring self initially until I went into teacher training. And I was like, getting it out. Like, I hear people talking all the time, like, I would like to be a part of how people can find that's pure center soul and be comfortable with it and not feel like, people have to accept it or understand it or like it and just be it and be it out loud.
Okay, so after finding self, discovering your center, yoga moment right there.
Yeah.
And figuring out this is what I would like to do. How did the community play into your aspiration?
They came. They didn't know what it was. I didn't even know what it was. I just started. Like, I'm like, it's great and I'm teaching it. Like, just come, And, just because they're my friend, they would come like, oh, that was lit. And then, they'll bring their friend. And their friend's like, oh, that's dope. I'm like, thank you. And I know my first week of classes, I was like, really? Oh, my God, I appreciate that so much. And it just spread that way. Like, I didn't have any outside promo because it was weed. And it was, at the beginning of the legalization. So I couldn't just be like, weed yoga, y'all. So it was strict word of mouth. And then I started doing private parties and birthday parties. So it always works. Someone will come to my class, or they know someone that came to my class, and they're like, I don't know what to do for my birthday. And then they'll be like, oh, well, I just went to this weed yoga class, it was dope. You should try it. And like, well, can she come to me? It's COVID. And so I think I did 3 parties this year. That just be like, hey, can we do a private party? And same thing. I bring everything. So I'm like, if you have the space, I can do whatever you like. It just becomes a celebration.
Are there any requirements when it comes to doing private events?
No. Because the private events are people that the organizer has invited. So I have no control over that aspect of things. At my events, I never had to have any age restrictions or anything because everyone was in the 25 to 35 range. So I never even had to deal with any younger people trying to walk into the space because, like I said, it's word of mouth. So everyone is around the same age as everyone they invite, unless they come in a bit older.
Okay, cool. I feel like this is a beautiful story. I just had to put that out there. I'm like, wow, that's tight. Birthday parties, private parties. Describe what a yoga private party looks like? I'm very fascinated by
I just bring the event to you. It's the same thing. I come in with the music, the mats, the pre-rolls, the lighters, the ashtrays. I set everything up. Generally, the host will have whatever they have, whether they have fruit or drinks or whatever. The last party I did, they walked around with edibles and they were like serving edibles before the class started. And we go through the same thing, short meditation, we establish an intention, we go through, I wouldn't say a short flow, probably about a 35 minute flow, and then a short meditation at the end.
Yeah. How long does a class usually run for you?
45 to 55 minutes.
And how many classes can you do in like a day to a week?
How many can I do or how many would I do?
What would you do? It's always about what you would. It's never about what you can handle. That's wild.
I mean, because it can get exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
It can get very exhausting trying to curate these things. But in a given day, 3 to 4.
Okay.
So in a given week, at 40, I'll be tapped out.
So when you get tapped out, how do you recharge your battery? Like, do you have a self-care routine?
I have self-care things.
Tell me more.
So I will take my spiritual bath. I look like the witch ladies that be. I got my candles and my rose petals and my crystals, and I am my bath pillow, and I am rejuvenating. Don't bother me. Like, there's no music or anything. My Florida water's in here. I'm cleansing. And so I do that. I go outside.
Okay.
I'll go to Annapolis and hang out by the water, and hearing the water is very soothing.
Okay.
So I'll just hang out there, maybe do some yoga, maybe not, take some weed, figure it out when I get there, just stuff that I don't have to do anything. Like, all I have to do is enjoy this. Like, I don't have to put in any, I'm just enjoying. And people think like, I'll get my hair done, I get my nails done. Like, that is not fun for me. I do not want to sit under the dryer. I am not trying to be drilled on for an hour. That is not my self-care. It is finding and enjoying the space that I create for myself.
Yeah.
By myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And enjoying yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then in the long run, taking care of you helps you take care of your clients when that time comes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because if I'm burnt out, I can't give to you. I can't share with you. Like, I can't do anything. And neither one of us are having a good experience.
Yeah.
So I do have to be in a space where I'm full and ready to give at the time that I am having these classes.
Yeah. So you have to be protective of your time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.